I walk. Oh yeah. So before we start the ghost storytelling part of the evening, or paranormal storytelling part of the evening, we're probably going to try playing with the Ouija board. Who's okay? I think Lucille said she would. Is there anybody else that wants to try?
Come on.
Anybody? Anybody?
You
Yeah. Okay. You're going to do it in the back? Sure. I mean, this place is actually haunted, right? You guys know the history of the King's Head? No.
There was somebody in the back too, right?
Yes, yes. So we covered, when we first came here to talk about ghost stories back in May, June, we covered the King's Head. It's been around since like the early, not the King's Head, but in different connotations. It was a manufacturing plant. It was a few different things. And King's Head was a restaurant, I think, sorry, I don't have it here. And we've done like 234 episodes. So, but it was a restaurant owned by different people back in the 80s, and then the current owners took it over, I think, in the 90s. And you know, there's different stories as to what might be here. It's anybody's guess. However, there was one transient person, homeless person. What? Jerry, yes, that's it. He would come in and use the bathroom quite frequently, so the staff knew him. They'd be gracious to him. No will ill, you know, homeless dude wants to come in and use the washroom. He'd come in every day, you know, and they'd see him, whatever. He comes in one day to use the washroom, but they didn't see him leave. So apparently he had an aneurysm or heart attack in the bathroom downstairs. So, which is very, very sad. So, you know, could it be Jerry? Might be Jerry. So somebody is a resident spirit here. On that note, do we want to start with stories, or do we want to do the Ouija boards?
Well, I've got them. There's 2 tables set up with a Ouija board.
Okay.
Do you guys have any questions before you start? No? Anybody back? You guys good? Okay.
All right.
Let us know if you guys get anything, or put your hand up if you have any questions, and I'll come around and help you guys.
Yeah.
Okay?
And you know, if you want to ask if it's Jerry, there's your tip, right? If there's anybody else here, you know.
All right.
All right.
Our first name is George.
Come on up. You're our next contestant. We know George. He's been coming out to these for quite some time, even last year.
Since the beginning.
Yeah, since the beginning. Hi. Yeah, it works. Pull it up.
And just because I pulled the board off doesn't mean you guys can't come up and tell stories. So
Get some
throw
liquid.
your name up here, you can.
Liquid courage does a lot.
We'll also open it up at the end once these people have told their stories, and we'll just ask everybody if they have any stories that they want to tell.
Yeah. So George is actually a member, I always get this wrong, Spiritists?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a Spiritist society he is a member of. And do you want to just explain to people what the whole...
Yep. So I'm with the Winnipeg Spiritist Society. We mostly study books right now, but it's there's a lot of information you can look at on the website. You can also look at the workbook that we're going through. Basically, there was a lot of information that was collected in the mid to late 1800s regarding spirits and the spirit world and all this stuff through mediums. And it was...
You have to put the mic a little bit closer, sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Is that better?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
I'll try. I'm not used to this. So. But yeah, so there's a lot of information on the website that you can check out if you want, if you're interested. Winnipeg Spiritist Society. It's small right now. We're not very many people,
Right.
but that's okay.
That's okay.
The spirits say
It's
that
fine.
it's okay that there's not many people, as long as it's what matters, what's more important is what we're saying.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah. So now our organization is a non-religious spiritist group. So we're doing things a little differently than they do in most spiritist groups, which are, there's a lot of spiritists in Brazil, and so that's where this influence comes from. They kind of made it into a religion. It kind of started in France as science and philosophy, like the study of spiritual things through mediums. So they ask all sorts of questions and get answers from the more highly evolved spirits. So, yeah, one of the things that I've been doing for the past year is research, and we entered into it kind of thinking that we would be doing table turning, table tipping, but they had a board and we just started using it, and it was working right away, and it worked very well. Haven't had a bad experience with it.
Bless you.
So yeah, we've been asking questions on the board for about a year.
Bless you.
So we're like record the sessions and we document it, and I'm in the process of organizing the research. It's like over 1,000 questions so far.
Oh, wow. What are some of the
all sorts
questions?
different topics.
What kind of questions
Like
do you ask?
asking what happens to animals after they die, how are animal spirits different from human spirits,
Okay.
like all sorts of things. Well, we'd also, like the spirits that speak through the board. And yeah, it is just a tool. Like you don't need anything, you just need a piece of paper. You can ask yes, no questions with the pendulum. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's nothing special. But yeah, you should always.
Is it your favorite form of communication, or do you have one?
It's so effective right now.
Is it? Yeah.
But yeah, see the thing is, so we'll try and, like I try and phrase the questions as yes, no questions. So that makes it easier for the spirits to do, and it's quicker, right? The way, like, of course the spirits have spelled out certain words, but that's more difficult for them, just because of the nature of because spirits, they need to go through the medium in order to be speaking in a language, because normally spirits use telepathy, right? So they need the medium in order to translate their thoughts into words. This is what they've actually said. And
Do you believe that the Ouija board named itself then? Do you think that's possible?
it's quite possible.
You think so?
I
Yeah?
think it doesn't really matter.
No, I'm just curious if it was just a gimmick, like.
No, I mean, if you ask who someone is, I mean, the spirit might give their name.
Right.
Usually the spirit will give their name. It's
Do you get names?
I never ask the board questions.
Okay, I see. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, get that.
But they have given us names, yeah. So basically, the spirits that came first and the spirits that have been with us this whole time are just our spirit guides. So they're good spirits. They're the spirits that know us very well and help us all the time. And so it's been really interesting. Basically, the way I see the board is kind of like a knife, right? So if you're a little kid, you get a hold of a knife before you know what you're doing, you can really hurt yourself. You can do a lot of damage. You can do permanent damage, right? But it's just a tool. It's not the knife's fault that the kid got hurt. Right? Mm-hmm. But in the right hands, with the proper training, with the proper level of maturity, a knife can be a very useful tool, right? So yeah, we do, of course, we'll do, we'll hold hands in a circle, like they actually told us it was more effective.
Oh, okay.
So we hold hands in a circle to do the opening, kind of do a meditation or a prayer or whatever, and connect with the higher spirits. We do that. We do that always before. It's very important. The spirits say this as well. There have been times that because one of the other things we do is record the sessions, right? so we get EVP on the recordings as well.
Oh.
So it started off small, and now we're getting like very relevant extra statements being said in the auto translation. So that's been really interesting as well. And one of the times we noticed that there was crying that was coming through that none of us could hear. And we were asking the spirits about it afterwards, and they said that it was one of the spirit guides that was crying. And we were like, what's going on? Is it because we're terrible people? Is it because we're not understanding what you're trying to say? And they're like, no, it's the strain of protecting the group. So there's a lot that goes on that we don't understand. Our group is very protected because of the work that we're doing. I would not recommend using the board just for fun. If you actually have a serious question, if you actually want to get in touch with someone who has passed on, if you have a good reason for using it, then you'll have more protection. But if you're just messing around, then you're asking for trouble.
Okay, that was fair. No, thank you. That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, so our organization, so we're going to be putting the research on our website and stuff like that. So it's not, I mean, we're kind of integrating it or whatever. But I mean, if you get information from one group with a medium, it means something. How you can tell what sort of energy, what sort of spirits are talking just by the way they're talking, right? But then that's one thing. But when it starts becoming scientific research is when other mediumship groups, other groups ask the same questions. Mm-hmm. And then if they're getting the same answers in different countries across the world, which is what was happening with when they were collecting the spiritist entry, groups from other countries be sending the replies to the question before they were even asked. When things like that, weird stuff starts happening, then you know there's something to it.
Right.
Right? So the information that we're collecting right now, it's good, but it needs the peer review. It needs confirmation from other spiritist groups for it to be considered anything but preliminary. Mm-hmm. Right?
And do you have a medium on your team?
Yeah, you need to have a medium in order to use the board.
Right. I know you mentioned the medium, but I wasn't too sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because using the board is spelling out and the spirits that we communicate with, they say that it's necessary to have a medium in order to use the board.
Right.
I can tell you, they've described how they use it. So basically, we have a group of 6 people, right? So that means 6 protector spirits, 6 spirit guides. It's a lot of light. So we're fairly safe, and this is why it's kind of dangerous to do it when you're by yourself. Where was I? Lost my train of thought. It's the song.
It's a good song. It's throwing them off.
Yeah, no, it's the way that they use the board. So the spirits say that, we're like, oh, is it all right if we take our hands off the planchette and stuff like that? And they're like, no, we need you guys to have it on. So basically, if more people have it on, it's easier for them. Mm-hmm. They kind of, when we're doing the harmonization at the start, they kind of join everyone's energy together and infuse the planchette. And they kind of move everything as one. But in order to have the ease of communication, you do need to have a medium, and we're fortunate to have one that's fairly experienced. And because if the spirit wants to communicate in a language, that means that they need to go through the medium's brain in order to put their thoughts into language, right? We've asked our group whether it's okay to start another group, and we named some people, and they're like, no. And we're like, is it because of the mediumship? And they're like, yes. So that there needs to be, you could be doing it for hours, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a medium, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Also, if you don't have the spirits that want to talk, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Right? So yeah, your spirit guide will just sit by and watch a less evolved spirit, a mean spirit, scare you, because it'll teach you a lesson, and your spirit guide knows that something that they needed to learn, and now they know. Right?
Makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, makes sense. Awesome. Anybody have any questions for George? No?
That's all right.
That's okay. Well, thanks, George. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
coming up.
And if you want any
Yeah.
information,
Yeah, if you want any information, you can come see George and he'll give you more information on his group. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Lucille, I think. Lucille.
Yep, Lucille, come on up.
Oh, okay, I won't sing. That's Chuck Berry, right? Chuck Berry, Lucille? That's all? No?
No.
Who is that? Lucille? I don't know.
Little Richard.
Little Richard.
And
Okay.
Kenny Rogers.
Oh, don't take your love to town.
That's Ruby.
Oh, sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
picked a fine
Who's Ruby?
time to leave me, Lucille?
Oh, right.
Okay.
Sorry. That's way past me. Sorry.
Okay. You know what? Can you guys hear me back there? I don't like using microphones. Yeah, I don't like that. I have a loud voice. I'm good.
If you're good with it, sure.
Yeah, so, okay, so I go on many spirit tours with Haunted Winnipeg Tours. I'm a regular there. I've experienced many spirits, but I have to tell you, this all started when, like 50 years ago. I was 10 years old, and we had spirits in our house all the time. I didn't know about it till I was about 12. And we found out what the spirits were doing in the house. They would turn on the dryer. Well, it was only my mom who was up, but she'd hear the dryer turn on. She'd go downstairs and check on my two brothers, and she'd turn the dryer off. She'd go upstairs. She'd hear the toolbox fall. So she'd go down, check, because that's a loud noise. No, the toolbox was still on the shelf. One time she went downstairs and the music was on. And she turned the music on, checked on my brothers to make sure that they weren't playing tricks on her, because my siblings like playing tricks on her. But no, so she turned it off, go upstairs. No sooner did she get upstairs, the music would go on again. She'd go down, turn it off. The third time it happened, she'd go down and she'd say to the spirit, okay, you can play the music, but not very loud. People are sleeping in the house. There was 10 of us in the house, so she'd leave the music on, go upstairs, and it went off. So it started then. And then a few years later, I had a younger brother who his room was next to mine, and a lot of times he'd have friends in there, and one time I heard them take off out of his room, run down. I went down, what's going on? They were in his room drinking and just talking, and all of a sudden, one of his friends who was sitting on his bed, which was the wall was to our attic, and there was a vent. There was no cover on the vent. He said, so-and-so's arm got pulled down into the vent, like something was pulling him down there. And it took him and his two friends all their strength to pull the guy out. And as soon as they did, they took off. But so he had a disruptive spirit in his room, but the one that we grew up with was a friendly one, just did stupid things, which is not a big deal. One time I was in my room and I heard noise in my brother's room, and I was like, what is that? So I went knocking on the door. I'm like, hey, Anthony, stop moving your furniture around, because the furniture was moving around all over the floor. You can hear it scraping. And then I realized, wait a minute, he just left 10 minutes ago. I went running downstairs. Mom, the spirit's moving his furniture. She's like, yeah, and? Okay, well, that's fine. So fast forward to a few years ago, I've had a spirit at my house in Richer. We had just bought a house in Richer. I moved us there because my husband, we were truck drivers, and my husband was on the road, so I had to move. So we moved there, and we're moving furniture in there, and in one of the bedrooms, it was soft. And it was like, why is this soft? But I thought, oh well, it's nothing. Moved everything in, my family left, because they even commented, like, why? I said, I don't know. So we lived there, and so we moved in there in September of 91 or 92. And so we were there, and then we weren't home much. We were sleeping, and all of a sudden one night my husband jumps out of bed. He says, there's somebody in the house. I'm like, relax, there's nobody. So he checked all the doors, windows, everything was locked up. I said, relax, it's probably just a ghost. Just kidding. And so fine. So he's like, okay. Another night, did it again. And he'd had the same reaction. I said, relax. It's just a ghost. It's not going to hurt us. Well, the third time he woke up, he says, I laid there and I watched the spirit, the shadow, he called it, above you. He says, your breathing almost stopped. He says, and I watched it. Then I watched it move out of the room, and your breathing went back to normal. I said, okay, see, it's a spirit. Don't worry about it. That's fine. And he believed in ghosts too, so, it was okay. But we went on with that, like, for a few months, and we weren't home often. There's some nights I was there by myself because he was on the road. I stayed home. This was out in Richer, Manitoba. And I'd wake up, usually between 1 and 3 at night, and I would be cold, and I'd look up and I'd see the shadow, and I'm like, thanks for visiting. I'm going back to sleep. And it spooked me a little bit, but I knew. I didn't feel threatened or anything. So that went on. New Year's Eve, we were in BC. A friend of mine stayed there with her boyfriend and her child. Her child was, I think, 5 years old. And she says, the next day, she says, oh, we saw your spirit. I said, what? She says, yeah, we got back to your house because they were at a party in Richer. So I said, just stay at my house. So they were getting ready for bed. It was about 1:30. She says, we're getting ready for bed. And my daughter says, Mommy, what's that? And they watched the shadow leave the bedroom and go into the kitchen where their dog was tied up, and the dog went crazy.
Yeah.
So she knew it was a spirit. I said, okay, so I'm not imagining things? She said no. So we kept on like that until I think it was in March, and I think I had just found out I was pregnant, and it was like, okay. And then I said, you know what, this is weird. Our bed is slanted. It's slanted on my side of the bed, so let's check this out. So we pulled the bed back, we pulled the carpet back, and there was about 2-3 inch gap between the floor and the wall. After that, no more spirit. It was there to warn us about the house sinking. Yeah, so we were like, okay, well now we know. Well, we called the bank, we had to give up our house. We had to move because I was pregnant, and we moved. The bank said, you know what, just walk away. I was like, no, we're not filing bankruptcy. We're not losing the house. We paid for it for about a year, and then we finally said we can't do it anymore. The baby was born. We needed to leave it. So we had to file bankruptcy, but, we were glad that spirit let us know what was going on because it was sinking. It could have caused a lot of damage. So that was it. But I have lots of other stories, but I'm not going to take up your time. I'll come back another night.
Sure.
And,
I want you to come back.
and tell you other stories. So
That's awesome. Thanks,
okay,
Lucille.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think it was a few months back, we had a really awesome story. Somebody in Richer. Remember there was a lady renting a house?
Yep.
And then her landlord was on the same property further away, and a lot of the door would open, and anyway, so crazy stuff in Richer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the house was then torn down
Okay.
because my bank said, tear it down, we won't come after you.
Right.
So I got a friend to tear it down, he took all the parts, so it's gone.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And now we have Glenn.
We do. Glenn, do you want to come on up?
Or wait a second. Back there, did you use the Ouija board? Did you try anything?
I used it said
Oh, it was done.
Like,
It had
no,
nothing to do
not
with
tonight.
Not tonight. Actually, as Glenn makes his way. So me and Cher, we would use when we record, we call it a magnetic ball of fortune. And it's like, ask again, try again. Or
It's like
ask
a magic
friend.
8-ball.
Yeah, it's like a magic 8-ball, if you can see that. It's like, so we've had some really weird results. We've had some pretty constant results, like the same thing. So let's just say, I'm gonna ask, is there a spirit in the King's Head named Jerry? It's going, maybe.
Gee, thanks.
Maybe
There's
more.
things up.
Maybe there's a few spirits named Jerry here, I don't know.
Non-committal.
Non-committal, yeah. So we have Glenn, he's joined us before, and we'll let you have the stage.
So, if any of you have been here regular, you've probably heard me talk about the spirit of the dog and how, it was first identified by medium in August 2016, and then in December of 2016, there was an incident with a little girl, a toddler, in Superstore. And she's pointing to my left, and she comes over once, and her mother calls her back, and then she comes over a second time, and she's standing right in front of me, pointing there, and says, "Uppy." So she saw the dog spirit. And that night, when I went home, my garage door reversed twice. So the first time I wasn't watching, I could just hear, because it sounds different when it's going up. So I realized it had reversed. So I went and looked to see if anything had triggered the safety features. Couldn't find anything. So I hit close again. And, it got down to about there and reversed again, which of course is the right height for a Boston Terrier, which is the dog. So, I've been talking about this because the dog had a trick he loved. He loved to bounce a balloon off his nose. So, since then, so for 9+ years now, I've thought, well, if he can actually trigger enough physicality to make a garage door reverse, that safety feature, that maybe he can bounce a balloon again. So, why is it taking me 9 years? Well, I went to a different medium December 17th. And I asked her if there was an animal with my late brother's spirit. And she says, yeah, there's a dog. And that night, when I went home, the garage door reversed twice. And again, I go, look, I can't identify anything that would have triggered it. So, if you want to assist in this, take your phone and find a picture of a Boston Terrier. And the Boston Terrier in question, his name was Jimmy. So if you feel like participating, that's how you could assist. I'll look up a picture of a Boston Terrier.
You okay?
Sorry.
Things that go bump in the night. So, for anybody who wants to do that, I'll give you a few seconds.
So you want us to look for a Boston Terrier named
No, just
that?
a generic Boston Terrier, and just think of Jimmy.
So Ashley's got one on her phone here.
Oh, you've got one?
Yep.
Good. So, I was 50-50 about this all these years. Now, I'm like 70-30, it's not gonna happen.
If it does, it does.
Yeah, so, and I've always thought of him being on my left. So if everybody who's going to participate, ready? Nope.
Jimmy's left.
Yeah.
Or we can ask Jerry to help us out.
Gary? Well, no, my brother Ross, I think, my late brother Ross, I think the dog spirit hangs around with him in the afterlife because he lived in that house for a couple of years, and he's the one who took the dog to be put down at the end to save our aunt from having to deal with that. So I think there was a lot
The
of
connection
bonding there.
probably
Yeah.
based on that, yeah.
So anyway, was my one crack at this.
Well, we can always try again some other time.
Yeah, glad you tried.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember the balloon, because Thanks, Glenn. Okay, we got about 10 minutes left. Actually, real quick story. This is kind of cool. We did a mini market here. What was that? August? No. October. No. Was it October?
Well, end of September.
September. Okay.
Yeah, last weekend in September.
So when we first came here to do Spirits with Spirits, May, June, whatever it was, I remember we were sitting on the stage, and you know, we did the thing with me and Cher, even though Cher was here that time, but like we always, when we do a recording, an investigation on a property or a story of a haunted location, Winnipeg, again, we're 234 episodes, 224 episodes in, and doing it 7 years. Anyway, downloaded in 43 countries. So we like to do the history search, like a little history, and then the hauntings, because they go hand in hand. So when we did the King's Head Pub the first time, like I said earlier, we talked about the history and all that good stuff. And I think Kelly was on the stage, you were here, and I was here. And I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I kind of went like this. And the curtain kind of moved, or like it was kind of like that, right? And I saw a girl standing where the lady, person with the pink hat there was sitting. That's you, but it wasn't her. And she kind of did the same kind of thing like I did. And later when I walked around the crowd at break time, I was talking, and the person said to me, they go, "You saw that too, right? There was something behind you." And I go, "I did." So I was like, "Okay, well, that's cool, like whatever, somebody's just checking us out, making sure we're okay." And then when we did the market, we had like a slow moment, and Ashley and Kelly had their table of wares on the other side, and I was emceeing, and I was up here doing my shtick, and because I'm so personable and everything. And it was a lull. So I said, "Hey, come bring your toys, bring them here." So we went, they came up on stage with their, was it a spirit box?
Yeah, we had a ghost box and K2s, I think.
Yeah, so we were asking the questions and stuff, and some of the answers we got were a little terrifying, because it's just like, was that you moving the curtain? And it said yes, clear as day. And I don't know if we asked if it was Jerry or not. I can't remember.
No, we didn't.
No, but were you trying to get Jazz's attention? Yes, you know, just stuff like that, right? And it was very specific to the questions we were asking, so I love their tools. I love the way they communicate. And just to backtrack a little bit more about what these people do, this group does, which is wonderful, when they do their public investigations, I really highly encourage, if you can, come out one night. They usually go to one location, one night, you spend hours there, and usually there's enough people that break up into like groups of 2 and 3. And with their kind volunteers, somebody will lead a group, and like say if there's different floors, each group will spend like, you know, half an hour to an hour, depending on the time limit, on one floor, and then move to the next. And the curiously interesting thing is, every group will get the same answers or the same names at different times and different places in the building. Like it's mind-blowing, because it just validates that they're making a connection with something there, and that it's kind of like, you know, like when they do sort of like you guys do a close right at the end, right?
Yeah, we do a validation at the end.
A validation at the end, everybody compares their notes, and like 80% of the time, everybody come from different groups at different times, different floors. They'll have like the same names, dates sometimes, you know. Same experiences. So it is, you know, if you're a non-believer, like some people in the crowd, type A people, my husband, you know, like it kind of just makes you go, like it kind of makes you wonder, like if you were in doubt before, it gives you that little extra push on the line, over the line of, you know, there could be something, because I mean, like if you look at like radio signals, right, megahertz, and you know, like we can't see them, but they're there. So it's just like when you're dealing with spirits on different planes and stuff, like I dimensions even. I'm a little woohoo like that. So I mean, definitely there could be something on the other side that we're just in, and basically spirits is a science that they haven't discovered yet or verified. And then you have people like George and his group of spiritists, like that's what they're trying to establish, that connection with the other side, right? Validate some proof. So anyway, I ramble a lot, and that's my deal.
So we have time for one more story. Does anybody want to come up and share anything tonight? Come on, one more person.
Some of the cool kids on the stage here.
All right, no pressure.
We have a draw.
Oh yes, we have a draw.
All right. Oh, since I
Actually,
what?
2 draws.
2 draws. Oh, we have 2 draws. I'm sorry.
Tonight we have the choice of a goodie bag down here, or there is the keychain pendulum on the table where the draw ballots were. So the first person will have their choice, and the second person, sorry, you get what you get, and you don't get upset.
Drum roll.
Roll.
Drum roll, please.
Mike Abram.
Oh, there you go. Come on up. Your.
So, do you want the goodie bag or the pendulum keychain? It's just on the table.
Yeah, I'll take this, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I work for that keychain.
Chantel Bruce.
Chantel Bruce, come on up and grab your bags.
So again, thank you so much for coming out. We do it once a month. We do it at the last Wednesday of every month here at the King's Head. Again, my name is Jazz with Getting Up the Ghost podcast, Winnipeg's first and only paranormal podcast. Doing it 7 years, and even in July, we were voted Feedspot.com's best Canadian paranormal podcast. So we're doing something right every now and then. We do this for free. It's a glorified hobby. You know, I'm kind of on hiatus right now. I wrote a book over the last 20 years. I'm trying to get it published. I'm self-publishing. So that's going to be something coming up in the next few Spirits with Spirits. We'll talk more about that.
We'll have a night celebrate.
Yeah, we're going to do a vampire theme night because it's a vampire book based in Winnipeg. And it's called A Taste for Blood. So I just got to do a little self-promo there. But yeah, so if you want to listen to the podcast, I do have business cards on me. I remember to bring some today. And you can find us everywhere. Spotify, Spreaker, like we're like everywhere. Like I think 30 different podcast platforms or whatever. Again, we don't make money at this. We just love what we do. Hopefully my pod partner can join us again soon because she's just kind of been out of the loop. And that's why I'm with these lovely ladies. Please check us out or if you have a story, that's what we do. We want to hear. So please email us at givinguptheghostpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and just a reminder, I'm Ashley from Winnipeg Paranormal Group. We really hope to see you at some of our 2026 events. They're not posted yet because we're still in the process of setting them all up, but 2025 was another exciting year, and we hope that 2026 is going to be even better. So check us out on Facebook. You can Google Winnipeg Paranormal Group, I think we're the top thing when you come up. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok,
Yeah, we are as well. We're on all those fancy dancy, schmancy.
Feel free to grab one of my business cards from the table. We'd love to hear your stories. We're also here to help you if you have any issues. And yeah, thank you so much for coming out.
And remember to live every day like it is your last.
And never give up the ghost.
And never give up the ghost. Thank you for coming out.
And a big thank you to Carly for bartending for us.
Thank you, Carly.
Thank you for
You're amazing as always. All right. Take care, guys. Drive safe. Stay warm.
We'll see you next month.